All right, everybody, back for some more Married at First Sight. As always, we'll just go through our 5 couples and see what we think about where they're at, what they did this week, and what it means for them in the future. I think the 2 big couples I want to talk about this week are Christina and Henry and then Karen and Miles. I think we'll open with Karen and Miles. This was the first time that we saw even remote signs of Karen actually participating in that relationship. Seemed like she had some brief glimpses of actually starting to open up to Miles, and it was very encouraging to see. Yeah, this is a couple that I've been want to root for, but Karen has just not engaged in this relationship. She spent the whole majority of their time together focusing on the negative, looking for reasons not to be with Miles. When you jump into a marriage at first sight, you have to be committed to that person. You have to be into that relationship, and if you're not, it's just not going to work out. So it's good to see Karen start to turn that corner. Miles has been going, it feels like Miles has been going above and beyond in this relationship, and finally he's getting something in return. It's hard to gauge just exactly where they're at or if this is going to work out. I'm still leaning towards a no for this couple, but definitely started to question if maybe I should change that answer a little bit this episode. We will have to see what happens with Karen over the next 6 weeks. It's not even a question about Miles. Miles, he's good. He wants to be married. You could have, I think, given him almost any woman on the planet, and he would be in that relationship, committed to that relationship, and doing everything in his power to make it work. So this is on Karen, and this will depend entirely on her attitude moving forward. But it was great to see that attitude change at least a little bit this week. We see a little bit of affection between the two. It seems like there's a little bit more warmth when they interact with each other, and those are all positive signs. Next up, let's move on to Christina and Henry. Can you imagine being one of the camera crew or the producers standing in the room filming Christina and Henry? It's so awkward to watch. I can't even imagine standing there beside them, having to stay quiet and just watch what they're doing. It's very clear that Christina is impatient, and it's something that really gets under Henry's skin. They had the party at their house, all the friends, and Christina had that conversation with some of Henry's friends. And for me, it was very illuminating. So I can't even imagine what it was like for someone who was actually in that relationship. And it felt like she took almost nothing from that and just carried on with her same normal BS as it always is. We all know that Henry is going to need some time. And if she wants to initiate something physically in the relationship, Christina is going to have to do that. We want to see Henry step up in the relationship, but seeing his personality and who he is and what we've seen from him, it's going to take him a lot to get to that point. He did get to another point tonight, and that was he got angry. He got a little angry, and he started spitting back a little bit at Christina, and it was good to see. It was good to see him really express himself, even if it was in a negative way, because I really feel like he is going to have to do a lot more of that for this relationship to work. And then we end the episode with Henry walking away, and I believe he said something along the lines of, "F this, I am done with this." And then we cut to the preview for the next episode and immediately got a shot of Henry and Christina together. Come on, production team. If you're going to leave us with a cliffhanger of Henry walking away, don't put them together in the preview. Leave them out of the preview. Let us stew on that a little bit. We saw him walk away, and then 2 seconds later, we immediately know that they get back together. So, why leave us with that? We had a cliffhanger for 2 seconds. All right, enough with them. Still the strongest couple Woody and Amani. They just seem so great together so far. Amani seems just very emotionally in tune, is the best way I could describe it. Even when we saw her together with all of the other women, like they explain what's going on, and Amani is the one who is locked in, understands what's going on, and it's really good to see. And I really enjoy just seeing all of Woody's friends and family really seem overjoyed by the I would just say changes, or the different, like just how committed Woody is to that relationship, and very positive signs all around. My big question at this point is, what is going to happen when they have a big fight? We had the very awkward disagreement last week with Pastor Cal, and they did handle it pretty well. It was overall a massive miscommunication that I think spiraled way out of control on both ends, but still haven't seen them have a real big fight. And I don't know, maybe we just won't see that happen with them. I hope not, because I'm really loving Amani and Woody, and really hoping that they make it to decision day and make that decision to stay together. All right, let's hop over to Emilia and Bennett. They're just two peas in the pod. I do think that they still have some hurdles with their relationship. It seems like, at least from what we've seen, there's not a ton of intimacy there, even just kissing and affection in that way. They seem like great friends who are married at this point, and I don't know what's going to develop with that. And I really am rooting for these two, because they are just the cutest couple that we've ever seen on Married at First Sight. I very much enjoyed their party with their friends. Everybody had like cheesy party games like Truth or Dare, Would You or Won't You, Never Have I Ever, like those sort of like just cheesy party games. And what do Emilia and Bennett do? Hey, let's get a gigantic canvas, and everyone can just sit on the floor and paint us a picture on the canvas. The end result was actually not that bad. It's better than anything I could ever paint, that's for damn sure. And I just really love this couple, and hope that they make it, but they still have to deal with the potential of Emilia moving away, which didn't get any closer to resolution this week. And as I mentioned, they're going to need to have a little bit more intimacy. They have to be more than just friends at the end of the next 6 weeks. And at this point, I think they're going to get there, but they really do need to start moving in that direction. All right, lastly, we have Olivia and Brett. First off, I'd just like to commend Olivia on her handling of the blow up from last week. She asked Brett just straight up, can you help me with budgeting? Can we go over the budgeting? Just to kind of extend that olive branch out to him. They still didn't reach total resolution there. Brett is still hung up that Olivia just flushes money down the toilet, and they'll never be able to afford a life together once they actually combine all their finances, which is absolutely absurd. But hopefully they can grow from that. We keep seeing shots of Brett in certain situations, especially when there's alcohol involved. There's always a shot of him just absolutely chugging a beer, and it just makes me think like that's going to be an issue at some point. At some point, something's going to happen with that. And then two, just the way he snips a lot of his remarks. Like, yes, he is a sarcastic person, but a lot of the things that he says just comes across as him being an a-hole. We also had Olivia really express a lot of her concerns that she was looking for a life partner to experience life with, and Brett is looking for a life partner to retire, to build a strong retirement plan with. And those two things are vastly different. and I really don't know what the bridge is there between those two. So on top of everything we saw from Brett at the start of the season, that other side of him, the way that he breaks down in certain communication situations. All right, everybody, that is it for tonight. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later.